if we don't do this well enough, then when you start dipping the cheese sticks in it, like a bunch of the mucusy part will stick all together on one cheese stick, and then you won't have enough for the other cheese sticks. Okay. Okay. So now we have our egg white and yolk done. Then we're going to jump to the next step, which tells you to, in another shallow dish, combine breadcrumbs, oregano, and salt. So we already have the breadcrumbs and oregano in here. We're going to add in the salt, and then we're going to stir that together so it's nice and even. Be careful, because if you don't stir this well enough, you're going to have one section of cheese stick that's like pure salt or pure oregano or something. I don't think you really want that. Okay, so then that's all nice and mixed up and even and everything. And then, okay, and then the next step we're going to do, so now we're going to start coating the cheese sticks next. And I'm just going to do these two for the example. So we got our cheese sticks. Now we're creating an assembly line here. So we're going to go in this order. That's why everything's written in that order. So when you create your little assembly line, you want it to look like this. So you're going to coat cheese stick with flour mixture, dip into egg white mixture, and then you're going to dip into the breadcrumb mixture. Then you're going to go back into the egg whites and then into the breadcrumbs a second time. Are we going to do the flour a second time? So are we going to go in the flour mixture a second time? No. Okay, so let's do that now. So you're going to take your breadstick, you're going to make sure it gets fully coated, including the ends with the flour. And then you have it, make sure that all of it gets the flour coating mixture on there. Then you're going to go into the egg, make sure you get those ends, and then you're going to go into the breadcrumbs here. And what you want to do is make sure it gets fully coated. Another piece of equipment I forgot to mention is you're going to need a wet rag, because your fingers are going to get looking like this, and you're going to want to wipe them a lot, and the wet rag is the best way to do that. So you want to grab a wet rag so that you have a place to wipe, because if you don't wipe your fingers a lot, the breadcrumbs get all like stuck to your fingers, and then it's really difficult to keep breading it so the breading is evenly. Like huge clumps of breading will start to get on one section, and then the other section has like none. So the trick to this lab is getting it even. So it's all about the technique. Last lab was all about measuring. This lab is all about the technique. I mean, measuring is still important, but we're focusing on technique for this lab. Okay, so now we're going to go back into the egg white mixture, and then we're going to go back into the breadcrumbs. We want to make sure to not forget those ends. Make sure it gets a nice even coating. And you want to check around, make sure there aren't any holes where you could still see the cheese. So it'll be nice and even, and then you'll put it on there, and you'll put all of them on there at that point, okay? So in between dippings, you want to wipe your fingers with the wet rag, and then you can dry them off on your apron, or you could get a dry rag to dry them off on, okay? So you're going to continually do that until you have all your cheese sticks on your thing. Then we're going to move on to the butter, okay? So it's going to tell you to drizzle the cheese sticks with melted butter, but the butter's not melted. So we need to drain that water out. just like we always do in the liquid displacement method. Then you need to cover your liquid measuring cup with a folded paper towel like this. And then you're going to put it in the microwave. Everybody has a little bit different of a microwave, so if you need help working it, let me know. This microwave is very old, but it's awesome and I love it and I never want to get rid of it as long as it still works. On this one, we want to make sure that the temperature is on at least a medium, because if it's too low, it doesn't work out really well. And then I'm going to take this, and you just want to melt your butter. You only really need like 10 to 20 seconds max. Do not go too far or it will explode, okay? So I'm just going to put this on the lowest setting it lets me go to. And then when it dings, it's done. We take it out. And then it should be melted at that point. And then you can use one of your regular spoons to stir it to make sure it's evenly melted all the way. So cute. I love this microwave. It's older than me. It's from the 80s. Ding. Okay, and then push that down. You're gonna get them out. Your microwaves don't look anything like this. Yours, you have to press cook time and then no seconds. And if you can't figure it out, just ask me. Okay, so then you take the paper towel off. Didn't quite get melted all the way. So I'm gonna pop it back in for a little bit of time. The temperature's not high enough. Such an old microwave. It's covered in fake wood paneling. Like, that was a thing back then. In case anyone was wondering.
You know, a history lesson?
Yes, on the history of microwaves. Alright, get that all nice and melty. Once it's melted, you're going to drizzle it over your cheese sticks and you're going to pop them in the oven. It says 5 to 7 minutes. Does that mean 6 minutes?
No.
No, it means 5 minutes. Then you check it and then add more if it needs it. You know it's done when it looks a little bit browned. Alright, now it's all melty. Okay, see how it's nice and melted? Okay, so then you would go ahead and you would drizzle it over all of your cheese sticks. I'm just going to do my little one cheese stick for right now. But you would just put a light drizzle on, okay? And then I would put it in the oven on the center rack, all right? And then we'll see what it looks like afterwards. You can go ahead and start.